I was just looking at an upcoming online fee for my online storage, and if we look at how much it is, it's coming in at $580. That is quite a bit of money. Now that is my yearly subscription, but I have to pay that every single year, and that's for only 5 terabytes of data. Now that is quite a bit, but it's online. And if something happens to my internet at home, I have no way to access it. So today we're going to check out a new network attached storage from UGREEN. Now, if you haven't heard of network attached storage, some people also call it NAS or NAS. Let me know which one you call it down below, but this is kind of your own cloud in your home. So this device then can add hard drives to it, and we have a ton of storage, up to 120 terabytes that we can have within our own home that's easily accessible, and there's no continued online fees. It's a one-time purchase. A huge thank you to UGREEN for sponsoring this video. Let's get started. Today we'll be taking a look at the UGREEN NASync DH4300 Plus. So everything that you need is here except for the drives, which are not included, but you get your user manual, screws, power cable, Ethernet cable, as well as a screwdriver and the NAS. Over here, UGREEN did provide me with 4 4-terabyte drives. Now these are Western Digital drives, but they have a wide list of HDDs that are compatible. So here you'll see those on screen. Pretty much anything you want, you'll be able to add in here to have full compatibility. Now, as I mentioned, that this supports up to 120 terabytes of data right on this device, but what does that actually mean? Well, that's like 71 million different photos, or 80,000 videos, or 125 million different files. So just whatever you can think of, you will be able to store it on there. Currently, I am using a NAS and I am using 27 terabytes and it's almost full, but plenty of storage for the long term, and it's gonna save me in having to pay those yearly fees every single year. So now to get this set up, we're just gonna get it plugged in, and then there's actually NFC right here that we can tap to get it connected. We'll do that in a second, but I really like how on the back here, you have a few different ports. So here we have an HDMI port. We'll be able to plug this in. And so not only is it storage, but it also has a bit of computing power. It's got 8 gigabits of RAM, as well as some computing capabilities. Then here we have 2 3.2 USB slots, and then we have a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet connection. Excited about that. And then here we have the power cord and a reset button. Forgot to mention right here on the front, there is a USB-C if you need to use that. And then here it's showing our different connections to our drives as well as our internet. Right inside the top here, we're just going to slide that off. And this is where we are going to add the drive. So you can easily see that we have 4 drives that are supported. So let's pinch these, pop them out. And there you can see there's just room for drives that are going to fit in there. Now this does support 2.5 inch as well as 3.5 inch drives. So now we're just going to attach our drive to the drive tray, and that's where we're going to use the screws to secure it. We have our drive number there. I'm gonna slide it in and attach the 6 screws on the sides. And there is screws for the 2.5 inch or the 3.5 inch drive. Now that we have our drive attached to the tray, we're just going to snap it into place. Just like that. Let's add in the rest of the drives. I've now plugged in my Ethernet as well as a HDMI so that we can see what happens. And then we're going to plug it in and we can sit on the nice case here. Now next we're going to grab our phone, and all we're going to do is scan the NFC tag right there on the front. And that's going to take us right to download the UGREEN NAS app. And we're just going to power it on. Once it beeps, it is now fully on, and here in the app, it has appeared to register. Now we're going to set it up, give it a name, and we're going to add our account so that we have access to it. And then you have an option to bind it with an email address so you can access it anytime, anywhere. It's now going through the setup process to get everything connected. So far, I haven't had to really do anything. It's really cool that I can do all this right on the app. I've now let it sit for a few minutes to initialize the drives, and it looks like I do have 2 errors. So I've actually changed the location of those drives, and I'm still receiving the errors on the specific drive. So possibly those are not working properly, but let's go ahead and continue with setting this up. Now I'm going to use the first 2 drives here that I have. So I'm going to go in here, and it says we have some must complete items. So I'm going to create a new volume. And then during this process, I'm going to choose the drives I want to create. And then you can create different types of backup. So there's a basic backup where essentially you have one of those drives that you can drag and drop everything on that drive, good to go. But if that drive fails, you may lose data. And that's not what we want to have happen when we have backup of information. So you can do what is called a RAID setup. So a RAID setup means it's going to use one drive to store your data, and then it's going to back up all that information on the second drive. So if one fails, you still have access to the next one. Now, I don't know too much about that, but right here you can read through and see what options there are. Here it's showing that I have these 3 options available. And depending on how many drives, you might need 4 drives here for RAID 10, but I'm going to go ahead and choose RAID 1. So it's going to give me access to one of the drives, and it's going to back up everything on the second drive. So I have a nice backup of the items that I do choose to store on here, but I will have less storage than just the basic backup. So you might want to adjust what size of storage you're getting based on that information. So now we're going to choose RAID 1. We're going to go through next, and here we have some other information about how this is going to work. So we're going to choose XT4, which is high performance and stability, supports large capacity storage. That sounds great to me. Going to tap done. And here it's saying that it's going to remove data from the second drive to make room for it, and I need to enter my password. It is now going through and creating and formatting those drives to be set up in that RAID configuration so that once we start loading stuff, it instantly backs that up. The NAS has now finished formatting those drives, and we are ready to start using them. Now, I did end up taking out the 2 drives that weren't working. Sometimes when you do order hard drives, they just fail for whatever reason, so we'll need to reach out to get those swapped out. But right now we have the 2 drives in here, and we have 3.6 terabytes of data. So quite a bit of data. Of course, you can add up to that 120 terabytes depending on what types of hard drives you have. Now, another great thing is you can manage all of this right within the app. So let's head into there and check out more about what we can do. So right in here, we can see that we have quick data on fan speed, CPU, hard drives, temperature, and other resources down here. So a lot of info right on the front page. And then we have all these other things that we can do up here at the top. So if we go into our storage, you can see that we have our RAID 1 storage drive, and it's currently at 3.5 terabytes at the X4 format. Then here we can go into files. Now I haven't added any files here, but we could go under my user folders and see what's there and check that out and organize and move and sort all the things that you might need to right there. So we have control panels where you can do some different things, but what I want to head into is the app center right here. Now, one of the main things I want to do is back up photos from my phone, my wife's phone, so that they're automatically stored here on the NAS, and we don't have to worry about that. So they have the 8i photo album app that you're able to add to be able to do this. So in here, you can see that I've gone through and installed some already. And so you can go through and just choose the one that you want. And here, if we go into the Photos app, we're just going to get started, get this set up, and we can then browse all of our photos right here. And then we're going to go to Photos Backup. So we're going to go here, and we're going to turn on Album Backup, continue, allow for all access. And now we can choose files that we want to back up right from my phone. And I can also restore other albums and everything that's on my phone as well. So that is currently backing up. It's now going to back up 1,491 files that I have on my phone. You can pause, you can go in here, see what is happening, but that's super seamless. Now, whenever I take a new photo, it's automatically going to back up over here so that I don't have to worry about if anything were to happen with my phone, I still have that backed up. Now, for my wife, I'd need to do the same thing, add the app, and then give her the ability to back up through the app as well. Now that all of my photos have been backed up, let's go ahead and check out what that has done. So right here in the Photos app, I can then go and see through days, see the photos I've taken. I can sort by months or years. If I find some pictures I want to sort, I can just simply select all of them. I can add to a new album, I can download, I can delete, and I have a few other options here where some of them you might want to copy to a different album or certain things like that. So lots of functions there. If there are photos that you have on a specific folder in your phone that didn't upload, you can simply tap the plus, find that folder, and then upload it really instantly, which is great. Now, one of the benefits of the UgreenNAS is you have a bunch of AI photo album features. So right here under Tools, we have a few more options. We can go into Settings, and under Intelligent Settings, we have options like people recognition, text recognition, similar duplicate photo recognition, scene and object recognition, and image recognition. So beyond what you have sorted, it can automatically find certain things just by searching for something via text. So with each of these, I did need to go in and turn on this feature. Then you give it permission to recognize your photos with AI, which is really cool. So if we go back to our main album here and we type search, let's say I want to find a picture of grass. So we're gonna do grass on image recognition, and there, just a few seconds, we have a bunch of photos of grass or fake grass from the apps I've used, which is cool. So very simple to do. I didn't need to do anything else other than turn that on. And now it is searching that. I don't have to pay for an AI subscription or anything like that, something you'll need on cloud services to do. But here it's all built right in, which is really cool. So very easy and handy to search my albums. Now there's some other features in there where you can share folders and you can have other people upload to them. So it's all stored on your own device, which is great. And then there's even that duplicate photo. So let's say you upload all of your photos that you have taken and you want to find duplicates. It's able to go through and look at all the photos in a certain album or a certain folder, and you could find those duplicates and remove anything that's duplicate, so you save space on your NAS, which is really cool. So really happy with those features there. Now next, let's talk about smart home. Well, with the NAS, there's actually some features that you can improve your smart home. One of the smart home platforms that I've been interested in checking out for a long time is called Home Assistant. This is an open source smart home, kind of like Alexa or Google Home, but it's all run right locally within your home network. So I thought, hey, let's try this out. And I can actually do that right here on the NAS. So here, if we go to the App Center and you scroll down here, you do have the option for Home Assistant. Now, this did take a little bit to get set up. I had to install also what's called a Docker. But once I did that, then I had Home Assistant running on my home network without needing to go and buy an extra hub or anything like that. It's all done right here on the UgreenNAS. So in here, I now have all these different devices. It just took a bit to get set up, but now I can go in here. Let's say I find my office. And here in the office, and I can then quickly turn on and off. Look how fast that is. That's incredible. So I can quickly turn on and off things. There's a lot more to this, but it's so cool that I now have this new smart home running right here on my UgreenNAS. Really cool. Now, some other things I wanted to do was incorporate cameras. So here I have a camera that's right outside the door. I see a live feed on here. With specific cameras, you can also have them back up their data directly to your NAS without having to pay for an online subscription there. So another way to save you money, and really cool that it's all local. So that's another huge benefit of UgreenNAS. Now, we've added a ton of things to my home so far. Let's go ahead and see how we're doing here. So if we go under the storage, you can see that I've currently uploaded 159 gigabytes of data, and I still have 3.5 terabytes left. So there's still tons room for more. Well, the question is, how are you gonna get your stuff onto here? So I've shown you the app, but there's actually an interface on your PC or your Mac where you can quickly upload a bunch of pictures or different videos. Let's jump over there and show you how that's done. Now that we're here at the computer, the first thing you can do is head to find.ugnas.com, and then you'll be able to instantly connect to your NAS here online. So I just have to sign in, and then I'll be connected. Now, the other option is you can download a client for your computer to be able to access the NAS. So here we've already talked about the app. I'm on a Mac, so I have options to download there. You can also download on Windows. And then here you can download on Android or Apple TV. We'll talk about that in a bit. Pretty excited about that. So I've already downloaded the client. It's right over here. So here in the client, it's super easy to connect. You just need to be connected to the same Wi-Fi network that you are connected to on your NAS. So if your NAS is connected to a Wi-Fi, your computer should be connected to the same Wi-Fi. I just click more connections and it automatically pops up like that. And then I'm going to tap connect, and there it found it. And then here I just need to sign in. And you can turn on auto login if you want. And we're going to log in. And boom, here we have the full interface of the NAS. It's a little smaller on the phone, but now we have all the options right here. So the same kind of thing, we can go into the task manager, see how much of the task we are using. We can see what's taking up that usage there. Let's see if we go under memory, we can see how much is being used. So we have a total of 8, currently using about 29. because I now have a few apps that are constantly running in the background, but it's really cool. I have all of those options. So the first thing that we want to do here is some file management. So I'm just going to jump in the files, and I've created a few folders here. So there already was a music and movies. I created another one called TWB videos and a few other things. So now all I need to do is, if I want to add something to this, I'm going to then find another file here. And under TWB videos, I'm going to just drag, this is from my computer, I'm just going to drag that right under the personal folder, and it gives you some options if you want to skip, override, or keep if there's duplicate. So we're just going to keep. There it's uploading, just takes a second. You can see what's uploaded. You can see I've been uploading a ton of different files there, and boom, it's uploaded, and I can easily sort it. So really simple to do. And now you can see I have some photos and videos that I have uploaded there. So for like the movies folder, I have a huge library that I've converted of DVDs to be digital. And so all I need to do is take those files from my computer, drag it in there, and it just took a little bit of time and everything was uploaded. It was really instant, pretty cool. And I've shown you photos, you can do that as well. So here in the music app, you can see that I have a bunch of different songs and things like that I've wanted uploaded. And so you can just go through and you can play some of these. So there you go, instantly plays. And that's all right on your home. You can then stream this from anywhere on your phone or anything like that. I'll show you that app in a bit. But that is how you can easily get different files from your computer right onto the NAS. It is very simple and easy to do. And we have a folder structure right here, just like you would on your computer. On your NAS, it's going to be the same as the phone. And so everything is synced, looks really good. And there you have some different user folders, shared folders, and so on. Now there are some other apps here that we haven't talked about. One is a sync and backup. So we can go in here and we can back up certain things that are on our computer. So if we want to back up this computer, we can do that. We can back up the UGREEN so that in case it goes down, we can have it backed up. We can back up the rsync server, and we can back up between storage pools. So tons of different options that you might want. Here we could back up specific computer path or files and a lot of stuff. There's really so much that this can do. It's hard to cover it all. I don't even understand a lot of it, but it's very versatile in all that can be done. So really cool. You have all those settings, but that's pretty much it. We now have a ton of files loaded onto the NAS. Let's jump into the app on the TV and see what we can do now. So here on my Android TV, I've added UgreenNAS. Again, this app is also available on Apple TV, and there it sees my NAS. I do need to sign into it. So we're just going to go to local account, and then we're going to either type in the address or we can go to LAN device. It finds it. Now I need to sign in, and I've done that. So here we can log in. That looks just like me. And now we can see different things that we have added. So we have this cool theater that has been created. So I can go to my different libraries. So here we have the Tech with Brett library. Here are a few different things that I've added. This is the one that I just barely added on my computer. You can see it's showing there in 4K. So we can just load that up, tap play, and this is instantly streaming right from the UgreenNAS. Super quick, very easy to navigate through, so I can quickly skip through. No loading time, searches real quick and pulls that right up. There's not really any sound to this video, but that's how quickly that works. Now, what this can really do is, now that I've also added my entire other movies library, so in here I have all my movies, and it automatically adds these pictures here, so you can have this nice display of different movies. I can quickly see the resolution. It looks like I'm old school DVD resolution at 720 on most of these, but really cool that I now can quickly go through, find our favorite movies, and we can click on it. Here it shows there's 2 movies within Cars. Sweet, we can click play on Cars. We can add it to our favorites. Let's go ahead and tap play. And there you can see how fast that loads. And there you go, just like that, super easy to do. Having my own service right in my home. I don't need to pay for a subscription. I have all of this able to be done on all of my different devices right into my home, which is very great. And really, this is so fast. Navigating on the phone, if I want to tap around, it quickly goes to the next section. So here you can see as I scrub through, it instantly loads that section. I got to go down here to different settings, see what's there. I even have subtitles that I've put on these, so it can find the subtitles. You can turn those off. Really great how functional this is, all right within the UGREEN So cool that all of these different features are built right in. Not much else I had to do other than getting the content on there. Now here we can go to the home. It's going to recommend different things that we have in our library to watch. I can scroll down. I can see recently updated tracks, different favorites, and different libraries that I have loaded. So that is the UGREEN app on your TV. Now you can also use this directly from the HDMI output on the UGREEN So I have this plugged into the display that I have up here on screen, and then I'm gonna head into the app on my phone and find a video I wanna play. So here we're gonna go into theater. Let's do my demo reel here. And we're going to click the button up here and we want it to do the HDMI play. So now, whatever this is connected to, it's now going to play on there as well. So this could be sitting next to your TV and you have this on one of your HDMIs. And if you ever want to play, you just connect to this instead of going to a smart TV or something like that. It can then play directly to your TV. Here I have a remote where I can pause, increase the volume and change, navigate through the track and so on. So really cool that we have this integration with the HDMI right on the UGREEN So back in the day, we used to have all of our CDs and rip them onto our computer. And now I have access to all of those. So I can just jump into the music app here. We can go to folders or we can look at different albums of things that we want to listen to. So here I'm gonna go to the YouTube library here and we're going to play a song and boom, starts working. No, there's no like streaming, waiting for it to buffer. It's so fast on how quick this works. So again, I have similar options to the theater. I can heart, I can then create different albums and folders and all of that. Now, one thing I may want to do is download a specific track directly to my phone so that I always have access to it. You can just jump into the path that it was there. I can find the song and then I have the option to download. So the greatest thing about this is these are your files, they're on there and you have access to get them at any time. That's the biggest frustration with going to all these streaming services is none of that content is mine and I can't easily download it and use it on whatever devices I want to. So having my own in-home cloud storage device to access all of my information is really awesome to have, being able to have quick access to all of those many different things. And I haven't even shown every app that's available. If we go back here, we can go into the App Center. And again, there are lots more apps and things that we can try out and download and play with. And if you want to, you can remove them and manage your storage all right from here. Again, we can go in, see how much storage we have taken up. And we can add more drives or swap out the drives. And there's a way to back up the current drives you have if you want to swap them out. So a lot more built right into the UGREEN So a ton of different features are available right here. Some of my favorite things is with this, I would no longer have to pay a yearly subscription to have my photos be backed up. Easily done right on here. And then I really love how it has the redundancy of one drive is being backed up to the other drive. So in case something does happen, it is a hard drive. It's, not old school technology, but they do fail every once in a while. So it's nice that you have that redundancy. And then if you wanted to, you could have this off-site to back up as well. You could have another one to really make sure that you have that dual backup in case anything ever happens. Now we have all of our files super secure right here in the UGREEN DH4300 Plus. And I think now it's time for me to go get lost in setting up my Home Assistant smart home. Let me know if you want a full video on that. So those are just a few of the ways which I've learned to use my UGREEN NASync DH4300 Plus. Really capable of doing pretty much anything I want to do and now having it all right here on my own cloud storage. So if you have any further questions, please let me know down in the comments below. And if you want to save 20% on your own in-home cloud storage, make sure you check out the link down in the description. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.